Alright, so it has been, I think, 5 years since my last YouTube video. Been quite some time, but I figured I've got multiple projects now, and I figured why not make a little video series to go along with each one of them. If nothing, just for a reminder of all the work that I did over the years. So, this is my grandfather's 1954 Farmall 300. It has been, probably pushing 2 years, 3 years now that I haven't started it, haven't even tried to start it. And I'm finally getting back on it. So hopefully today or tomorrow I can get it running. So the issues at hand are it's missing a carb. 2 years ago, I think January of 21 was when I took this off because it was leaking pretty bad out of the bowl gasket. So I took it off, took it in, rebuilt it myself, and forgot about it. Ran out of time, stuck it on a shelf, and just let it go. So that's where we're going to start. I think there's gas in it still. I think. Yeah, there's gas in it yet. So I'll have to drain that out. And I think over here, yes, it's missing the sediment bowl screen. Ooh, I don't know. It might have been the gas might have all leaked out by now. I don't know. We'll see. So I got to get a new one of those, hook up the fuel line, and then I think that's it. I got to charge the battery up. Actually, so yeah, that's the first goal. I'm going to take the battery out, bring it up to the other building where there's power, because there's no power out in this building, and let that charge while I'm working on the carb. I don't know about the battery. The battery was new in 20, I think, so it does not have a whole lot of run time on it, but I have not bothered to properly store it, so it's probably bad by now. So we'll have to find out. Maybe if I could just get it started, then I can move forward from there. So I think the first step is to take the battery off, then work on the carb. And yeah. Okay, first of all, forgive my muffled voice. I'm wearing a mask currently. That straw has not been moved in probably 40 plus years. So I'm going to be wearing an N95 mask for most of this. And second of all, I have a phone tripod somewhere. Don't know where it's at. So until then, it's going to have to be filmed on my iPhone for now. But to get the battery off, it is 2 3/4 bolts. One right there, the other one right there. And this whole lid and seat assembly will flip backwards to reveal our 6-volt battery. Yep, this is still a 6-volt system. Not sure if I'm going to convert it to 12-volt yet or not. We'll just have to see how this plays out. But I also can't, without the tripod, I can't really film what I'm doing because I have no way of propping my phone up, so it's just going to have to be a bunch of jump cuts for now. But yeah. Alright, got the battery out. You can see it's 6 volt still. I didn't check all of the levels, but you can see that they're not terribly low. They are low, but they're not terribly low. So it might actually take a charge. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so this whole lid assembly flips up, and then there are the cables, which are held on by quarter 20 bolts, or excuse me, yeah, quarter 20 bolts, I think. And then wing nuts and studs hold this battery hold down. And I believe this is the original battery cover, seeing as the kind of shape it's in. But it has seen better days. It's been patched, cut, welded. I don't know why he kept this, but it's on it. It does its job. Because I think the only thing that's holding this battery down is like right here and like right here. That's the only thing that actually touches the battery. But, you know, I gotta get a new one, but it does serve its purpose right now. So I'm gonna put that on the charger and we'll get started on the carb. Alright, quick side note. I got curious and broke out the multimeter, and I actually have 5.35 volts still, which means it's not entirely dead. I mean, it is dead, don't get me wrong, but it's not as dead as I have seen some. Like, I've pulled batteries out with half volts before, so, like car batteries with half volts before, so we might still have a pretty good chance of getting this thing to start today. Okay, we're an hour or so later because I forgot entirely that if you just set bolts up here on the top in a barn full of critters, that the bolts will just stay there 100% of the time. And I'm not going to sift through all of that. It's not really on my to-do list for today. So went to TSC and got 2 quarter 20 bolts to go into the governor shaft housing, into the carb. Right there, there's threads on the inside of that. And 2 new mounting bolts for the studs right here. These are 3/8 studs, but they're fine thread studs. So these are 3/8 24, which is a little bit harder to find, but thankfully they had some. So that, and I gotta hook up my choke linkage. That's my choke cable. That's my choke linkage right there, choke shaft. And my fuel line will screw into there. I got a new gasket for here. I don't have a new gasket for this. I don't think. The original gasket's still there. But I can make one if need be. That's not that big a deal. And yeah, it should, in theory, just kind of tuck up like that. So here's the hoping. So here it is installed, mostly. I still got to hook up the choke linkage, the pipe that goes from the air cleaner to the inlet of the carb, my fuel line, and that is, I think, it for linkages. These 2 nuts are tight. These 2 bolts are tight. These 4 bolts are tight. This I wanted to make sure let me start over from here. I had to take these 2 bolts out so I could get this tube dropped down so I could kind of wiggle it in like that. And there's a shaft that is connected in here that when you turn your throttle lever up there, it moves this lever right here, this bar, which activates or moves your governor accordingly. And the governor will then move the shaft in and out, or like that, which then turns your butterfly, I guess like that, in your throttle butterfly right there. So I'll take these out to do that. Then I wanted to make sure I wasn't binding or breaking springs, so I had to take these cover off. I lost these 2 bolts along the way. Thankfully I found them in the straw that's on the bottom here. But they're in, they're tight. These are in, these are tight. Those are up, those are tight. Somebody must have been in here before me, which I can believe because I was told by Grandpa that this was not the original carburetor to it. This is off a Farmall H, I think. I think that's the older brother to the 300. Don't quote me on that. And that apparently back when these were new, the 300s I mean, they had a complaint that the 300 carbs were using too much gas, and so, or drinking a lot of gas. So the dealership apparently came out for this, swapped the carb over the course of like a dinner, and then just left. I actually found the original carb. It's in the barn somewhere, but it's in a lot rougher condition than this is. So we'll just stick for this one for now. And this one's also freshly rebuilt. But the reason I say that is because these studs are 2 different lengths. I think one is pushed up. This one is pushed up higher than the other one, which I got. They're just a little bit of a pain to work around. And this one, the tube or the shaft, interlocks the throttle shaft via a key, and how do I word this? The tube on the throttle shaft in the carb slips over the tube on the shaft in this, if that makes any sense. So those had to be perfectly meshed for it to turn, otherwise excuse me, the more I turn that, it's not engaging anything in the carb, and it's not working the butterfly in there. So I got all that meshed up. That gasket's kind of shot. That didn't have a gasket when I pulled it off. Don't know if there was supposed to be one or not. That gasket's in there. Again, it's in pretty rough condition. And this gasket is new, and I noticed it was slightly tore at the back. So I will probably have a vacuum leak there, but that's something I can work around for now. I just want to get it running and into a place where I can do more work to it. So that's where I think I'm going to leave. Oh, and at TSC I bought a new rain cap for it because why not? They were on sale. But I think that's where I'm going to leave it for today, and I will pick it back up tomorrow. And I'm back. It is now Saturday early evening, so we're going to get back on this. I'm going to start with draining the gas out, what's left of gas out. I don't even know if there's anything in there. It's kind of greasy right there on top there, but we'll see. So I think how I'm going to do that is I've got a plastic jug there underneath the sediment bowl with the screen and gasket and bowl off. And I'm just going to open up that petcock there and let it drain. And then I've got that one I could put under there if it goes too fast for me to dump. Then outside here, I got a big jug with a funnel in it, and then so I can put it all in there, and then I will dispose of it properly later on. So, let's see if I got gas in it. Oh, yeah, I do. Nice. Well, not really nice because it's old. I'm going to slow down the flow there. All right. Let's see about taking the cap off. Well, we got nice flow coming out of the bowl, or coming out of the sediment bowl. That's pretty good. All right, well, I will catch up again when we're back. Update, we're still draining. Doesn't look very healthy, but it is draining. I'm kind of hoping it ends soon because I'm almost full on that. That's a 4-gallon water jug, and I don't know how much is in there. Evidently it's pushing 4 gallons. But what I want to do now, while I'm waiting for that, is check the oil level. So on these, for those who may not know, on this old tractor, or vehicle for that matter, they don't have a dipstick. They have these two plugs, this top one and this bottom one, and that's how you check the oil level, because this is your oil pan. So I already broke these loose. They didn't put up much of a fight. You're supposed to turn it, and there it is right there. So it has oil in it. It better, because I remember I just changed this oil before I put it up, maybe a month or two before that. So it should have a brand new filter and fresh oil in it. And then it just went and parked. And I think I changed the oil, and then the next time I came out to get it, I tried cranking it over, and that's when the float, or the float was sticking. And that was that. So I am going to turn this off. Good news is that fuel bowl don't leak. Well, I don't know about the bowl, but the valve doesn't leak. This one's a little extra full. I'm going to take it over here. And dump it. Yeah, see, I'm right almost there, so I'm hoping there's not a whole lot left, because I'm going to have to go get another jug. But yeah. Back. There we go. It doesn't really show signs of stopping, so we will see. So I got oil at the top petcock, which is good. So now I'm going to take my wrench here, my ratchet, stick it on the drain bolt. Come on, baby. Would help if I had it set it to the right direction. Sorry. There it goes. I want to see if there's any water that comes out. Doesn't look like it. That's good. Alright, I'm going to stop there because I'm not looking to change oil today. It looks pretty clean coming out of that petcock, which is good. No water, fresh clean oil. Tighten that back up. We're about full again. Alright, so now I'm going to get another wrench, and I'm going to check to see if there's water at the bottom of the filter housing. This is a drain right here. Pull that out and see if there's any water that comes out. And if not, then we're good. Alright, had to stop recording there because that was full and my storage got full up. But I found a kitty litter container that will hopefully take some of the abuse. But back at this, I'm going to drain that filter housing, see if there's any water in that. I'm not going to drain it completely. There you go. That's a 3/8 pipe plug, and it's seen better days, so I might have to get a new one in the near future. I had to use a little bit of a ball peen hammer to get it to go. But I think it's let loose now. So, there it goes. Wrench up here so I can do that one two-handed. I'm not seeing any water come out. And I'm not going to pull that because that drains the filter. But that's good, there's no water in that. So, it should be good. Let's start it. There we go. And my pan's almost full, so catch in a bit. Okay, so we finally stopped draining gas. It's been a bit. But that ended up taking 2 full kitty litter jugs and probably 2.5, 3 gallon in the big blue barrel. So it had a lot more than I thought it was. It probably had closer to half tank in it. But now, actually let's go around to this side. While that was draining, went ahead and put a muffler clamp on it because this muffler was just kind of there. Hooked up the choke linkage. You can see that back in there. There is supposed to be right here a little spring clip or cotter pin that's supposed to keep the choke linkage from popping out the side, and I don't know where that went. So I'll either have to make one or find something. But now, come up here, our choke butterfly moves, which is good. So, that's good. Might have to push that in every so often. Hooked up the fuel line there. It takes 1/2-inch wrench at both ends. And now I've got the original sediment bowl and a new gasket and a new screen. The gasket and screen are both from Steiner way back when. So I don't know if they'll fit. Ooh, there we go. But hopefully they will. The screen is kind of a little bent there. But I've also had this on the shelf for 2 years, so it sits down in that divot, and the gasket is cork, and that's supposed to just press up in there. And it just occurred to me that I don't know where the bail for that went. So, hold please, I might have to find that again. Alright, crisis averted, I found it. It was actually in this Coke can that I had out here for some reason. I cut the top off of it to use it for something, evidently, but I don't know what. Oh, I know what. I had it on top of the muffler. That's right. Because I had that on top of the air cleaner and that on top of the muffler. And then I think I took the muffler off to do something and forgot to put it back on. But now I got a rain cap. So the theory behind this is that the screen will go in the bowl, kind of like what I have now. The gasket will sit on top of that. And then this bail, call that a bail, sits in these grooves up there like that. Oop. Oop. Like, come on. Maybe not like that. There, like that. Swing down, and then this bottom part will rotate up and clamp that into that. So that's a two-handed job, so I will see you in a bit. All right, we're back. Sediment bowl is on. Looks like it's a little wet there, but my other tractor leaked a little worse. So I put a splash of gas in it. Let's see if I need to tighten the bail up. Well, it fills. Looks like it's holding. All right. Turn it all the way on. There, that's all the way on. Yeah, it looks like it's holding. All right. Sweet. All right, let's put the rest of the can of gas in it. I'm going to put some seafoam in it too, because I really don't want to have to do that again. But go get the battery. Should be ready to start, or try and start at least. So hold please. All right, back with the battery now, which should be the last step. Hooking this up. It's the same, just reverse of putting it in. You gotta put battery in, and the hold down in, and hook your clamps up. This is a positive ground system, which means the ground cable here hooks to the positive terminal. I've been told it will run both ways. I don't think I've ever had it hooked up backwards, but it will burn points to no end. So you gotta make sure that's hooked up properly. So that's also a two-handed job, so I will hook that up and see you in a bit. All right, battery is all installed. So I'm gonna come around here. I actually ended up putting that tube back on. Almost forgot about that. I am going to put in a bottle of this seafoam. I absolutely love this stuff. I can't get enough of it. I put it in all of my engines. And there's a ratio you want to put to gas. I think it's like 1 ounce treats a gallon or something like that. But this thing has sat for 2 years, untouched, unran, and there's never been anything before that, has never driven anything past like a mile. And I really don't want to have to drain a whole bunch of gas out again. I will if I have to, but I don't want to, so. What the hell, right? Take that off. I have the mushroom for that. I forgot to bring it. It's at my house currently. So, let's see if we've got lights. We have lights. All right, battery's hooked up. I think I should probably just make sure it at least tries to spin over first before I seal this battery case off. So let me, here's the key. Alright, so neutral. Oh yeah, all right. Sweet. So we have juice. So I'm going to fold the seat back and we'll be ready to start this thing. All right, now we're sitting on top of it. Get everything out of the way. Here's the hoping. So, oh, and it also occurred to me I might have to file the points. Every time I've had to get this thing going, it's always been really good at starting right up with minimal choke and just like first or second crank. But this is the farthest I've ever had to go with it. So we might have to file the points, which is no big deal. I brought emery cloth with me, so, but let's try it without. So, and I'm leaving the side shield off for now. I'm going to go up to a running water source, garden hose, and wash it off because it's pretty dirty. So, turn the key on. Push clutch in. It is in neutral. Let's go. Oh, wait. Choke. Just a little bit of throttle. Ooh. Oh, wait a fucking minute. Excuse my language. I forgot. No, I didn't. I got water in, or fuel in it. Okay. I might actually have to file the points. I don't know. We'll see. Hold, please. Alright, so I'm over on the right side. I'm in the distributor now. And I got it to where, with the ignition on, the ignition's not on now, but I got a little tiny spark out of it. This cap keeps falling. And I'm going to try and get it to where I can get more. So here is the points. And I'm just going to file them back and forth. They got a little bit of a glaze on them. And the cap, the contacts in the cap and the cap itself aren't looking too great. Neither are the wires. Look at those. Those are probably original or painted. They probably are painted. But look at the boots on those things. Like, ooh, that's really loose. It's probably going to get a set of wires here soon, but hopefully it'll start without them. Alright, so I cleaned up the points as best I could. It's just going to have to be what it is. I do have a replacement set of points. It was way back when I pulled the carb off, I was like, well, why don't I just give it a tune-up as well? So I ended up buying points, condenser, and a rotor cap for it as well. I have that here. I'd really rather not put that on today because the sun's kind of going down, so we'll see where we're at. But I do have them, but I think it's going to need a distributor cap and a set of wires here too as well. But I don't like using starting fluid any more than I have to, but sometimes it's just necessary. So ignition on. We'll give it a little squirt. Okay. Clutch in, neutral again. Get some choke. Oh, come on, baby. Okay. One more throttle. Try it. Ooh. No more choke. Nope. Now I'm wondering if I'm not getting spark to the plugs. Because it's not even trying to pop. Let me try something else here. Let's give it a little more. so I'm back here. I took off this housing again, as you can see, the linkage in there, and I recorded it. And every time I move the throttle lever, this moves accordingly, which means it's moving the shaft in here. So I'm wondering if I did not spline the carb upright. I was pretty sure I did, but it's a possibility that I didn't. So we'll have to take that off or take a look at that later, because that involves dropping the carb again. Yippee! Yay! So, but it runs. The sun's going down. It's like 7:30 right now. So the sun's actually not really going down, but I'm losing daylight fast. But I think that's where I'm going to stop this video now. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Oh yeah, I found the little clip that goes on the choke lever, so that's good, the choke linkage. Next video, I'm going to hopefully get it mobile and get it outside, wash it, and put the ignition parts on it. I'm probably splurge and get a distributor cap and wires for it, and maybe a set of plugs too, but hopefully it's right there, because that's where it meets up, is right here. Hopefully I can just fix that, and it'll be running and driving. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.